In this video, we'll look at refactoring our existing application, our existing quiz, and we'll start with this if statement right at the bottom, which determines the winning and losing conditions for our quiz. So what we'll do here is we'll take this if statement and we'll replace it with a switch statement. And you should already be able to do this, but let's do it together. So we'll start with giving our switch statement the variable of score. So we're passing score to a switch statement and we're saying case 0, and then we'll just say alert, you lose. So we're basically repeating the structure that we already have in an if statement, but this time we're just turning it into a switch statement. Okay, and here we'll say alert, you win, and finally we break and we give it a default case of alert, something went wrong. Okay, and we'll break here as well. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to save the file, refresh it right here, and we're just going to keep pressing the escape key because that's the fastest way for us to finish this quiz, this game. And actually I went so fast that I didn't see the notice, and the notice says something went wrong. So with this switch statement, it skipped the case of 0 and the case of 30, and it ran the default case and it alerted us saying something went wrong. And I already know what's happening here, what's the reason for it, and the reason for it is actually that we are not assigning the correct cases to our switch statement. Basically, score is actually a number. The variable stores a number and not a string. So if we put our numbers in double quotes like this, we're going to get a string, a number typed as string. So in order to preserve the number, we need to remove the double quotes. So we'll save this again, refresh right here, keep on pressing the escape key so as to basically lose our 15 points, and it's going to say you lose. So I hope you can appreciate the difference that we just made here. The first time we simply never reached the case of string 0 and the case of string 30, and then our switch statement ran the default case, which is not what we want, of course, but when we fixed it by removing the double quotes, we got the desired effect. So that's the first part of our quiz. And the second part, I think we can now just cut this from here and maybe paste it over here so you can see it easier. And this is going to be our if statement reminder, so to say. And now we're going to do the following. We're going to actually replace this switch statement with an if statement. So we're going to say if first question is equal to Rome, then we're going to do this right here. Okay, now we're going to close off the if, and we're going to say else, and inside of the else statement we're going to say else for any other case, remove or subtract 5 points, give the you are wrong confirmation, and do the console log of the current score. And of course, as you saw, I actually deleted the breaks because we don't need them in the if statement. So now I can save everything, and let's run the quiz again. And if everything works right, we should get the first question working just the way it did before. So let's see what happens. What's the capital of Italy? I'll type Rome. Okay, you are right. And the score is 20, so that's good. So now the same way that we did with the first switch statement, we can replace the others as well. So we say if second question equals Paris, score, we'll remove the break, then we'll actually close the the squirrely brackets, then we'll say else, and remove the default, keep the score getting lower in case of a wrong answer, and remove the break statement right here, the break keyword actually. And here we'll replace the last switch statement, and we'll say Madrid. So we'll erase this line as well as, we'll erase that line as well as this line right here, and let's give it the else, and remove the break keyword, save everything, refresh. Actually, let's just escape out of the quiz, and now we can refresh it, and we'll give it wrong answers, see what happens, and the game is working fine. Let's just test it out by answering everything correctly. Paris, Madrid, and we won. So that should be good. And just to make sure, to double check that everything is really correct, let's actually replace the first question. So instead, what's the capital of Italy? Let's say what's the capital of Russia, and we'll say, instead of Rome, we'll say Moscow. Save everything, refresh, and of course let's try to hard refresh this page. So we'll press Ctrl F5, and now it should be working. So Moscow, you are right. Paris, you are right. Madrid, you are right. And everything still works good. We won. So we have successfully changed the original file that we had, and we basically did the following. We replaced all the switch statements in this while loop. So we replaced all the switch statements with if statements for each of the questions, and down at the very bottom we replaced the if statement with a switch statement. So we basically just flipped between the switch and if statements in this file right here. And I think this is a great exercise to actually see how easy it is to do, and just to practice a little bit. Okay, so that's it for this video. In the next one, we're gonna be dealing with another simple text-based game that should be quite fun.